trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick
Morning.
trading
I'm listening to CNBC, so I gotta turn it off so when I get a strike. Thumbs up. 17 people, 6 thumbs up. Here we go. Okay. I was going over Shark Ninja, drawing some stuff on my chart. So it's one I missed. Lessons, again, about journaling your trades. And I looked back on it. And clearly, it was a long-term strategy and not something short-term. So I sold out on the 4-hour algorithm, but ironically, I mean, look at every buy. Every buy on that 4-hour algorithm since I started watching it, except for the one that I got in on. Except for the damn one I got in on, was a buy. So, it is what it is. You live and you learn. Yeah, Daddy got some new shoes. So, here's what we're going to go over, just so you know. For paid members, I've got my 5 pillars of my portfolio. Because Shai did it. I got an alert on a stock that's in the Beat the S&P portfolio that I'll talk about with the paid members. And a couple of trade ideas. Yesterday, I put in the paid member on the newsletter, just so you know. I put in a couple of trades. I'm doing a lot in the chat there, in the chat for paid members. So we'll go over some of that stuff as well. Nothing. And let me see, does Twilio have... Twilio is after the bell, and it's an alpha pick stock, and it has been on fire. I mean, look at that chart. Yeah, we might as well put this in the newsletter because I've got that one. So my thing on the dip, it's been on fire. It's an alpha pick. If they report or guide, because it's been on such a strong tear, I'm slightly concerned, 10% downside with the average price target. But look at the previous price targets. I mean, it just chased it up. So I'm not 100% worried about it, but if they, I mean, just with that ticker, it's going to go crazy. Yeah, I don't, you know what it is, Jacob? For some reason, I think, let me just turn on Do Not Disturb. I probably shouldn't turn it on. My dad's in the hospital, so, but I don't have to go up there for it. Medication issues, but, this is kind of like Amazon and Google and the mega ones that went into earnings. If it's, if there's any hiccup, this one's going to get pulled back, and it's just to buy the dip. So we will pull up that one. Open with Google Chrome. We'll close with that. Shark Ninja. This one just, is there an analyst version of this? No. Okay, we're going to look at that one. I have a whole story around that. Reddit, which I know is a big one because it does really well on the 4-hour algorithm, is down 7%. It was down as much as 10%. Looks like it's coming back. This is a chart of Dutch Brothers. Well, we're going to go over Dutch Brothers because I thought this particular one was interesting. Because they just, I mean, they're up 25% in pre-market. Cisco is an interesting one. Hood killed it. They are up 14%. This is a chart with Hood and Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. Trading Desk, I mean, I'll go over it. Was it a sandbag? I mean, I don't know. We'll look at the chart. The chart kind of says it all. We'll look at that one. AppLovin, if you have alpha picks, you have this one. If you've added to it, kudos to you like me. Add to your winners. This was an interesting one. The 2 largest companies in the world just tested their 200 moving day average for the first time in months on dailies. So, interesting. This is a great video of Jensen Huang. If you want to know why you should invest in NVIDIA over everything else, I thought that was great. AMD is an interesting one. I'm going to go over AMD, and the reason is because I'll put it in the newsletter. ARK Invest has a couple of interesting trades yesterday. We'll go over some of the big movers yesterday. Just so you know, producer price index came in hotter than expected. Job market came in better. CPI report from yesterday, nobody cared about it. And this is the strategy post from Shy, and it's a really good one. So, yeah, he's doing okay. He's got congestive heart failure. He's 83, so he can hold his hand. Those that listen know. He had this thing where it's called essential tremors, where he couldn't hold his hand thing. Now he can hold it perfectly straight, no problem. They do brainwave, high frequency signals into the brain. And so he lost his balance and can't walk as well as he was. But he also had a heart valve replaced 15 years ago. And the heart valve supposedly lasts 15 years. When you do that. And so at 83, what do you do? So they put him on some medication, which seems to have caused some fluid around his heart, lost his breath. Mom took him to the hospital last night. They kept him overnight. So I just got to check on him at some point. So, but yeah, thank you for the prayers and thoughts and prayers. I mean, you know, okay. I think I'm good. Let's look at the cues where we're at. Let's go back to core investments. Anything in the core portfolio that's way up. Tesla's way up. So up 3%. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think my brother put it the best to them over Christmas. You're on borrowed time at this point. At 83, your coupon expiration, if life is January to December, your coupon expires in October. They're in November. So, you know, they're getting to that age, and I'm 54. You just you realize it after a certain time. Seeing it with my grandfathers. Both my grandmothers, my dad's mom died when he was 13. My mom's mom died when I was 12. So, didn't know my grandmothers too well, but yeah, okay. Okay. I will go over everything now. If you are new here, then hey, I'm live every 8:30 every morning that the market is open. I do a podcast. It's on Spotify. Tens of thousands of people listen to it, I think. I still have no clue. I'm just a douche on the internet. Number one rule is don't listen to a douche. I go over everything. I have a newsletter. Morning, Coral. There is, Coral, I mentioned you to a friend yesterday. It was funny because I said, hey, I've got a listener who is a female in the air conditioning business. And, if she can do that, you can do this. And so I was using you as an example. So kudos. High five. Boom. High five. Still haven't listened to a full podcast of you, but I did listen to some highlights. I think it was, I don't know. I Googled it. I don't know if you want me to shout you out on here or not, but she's pretty impressive. Okay. Let's go over this. Nice boom. Exactly. Okay. I'm just looking over my notes. I had 3 paid members yesterday. It was crazy because I think most of my time is spent doing tech support on Substack because Substack just doesn't have tech support, I guess. But what was crazy was 3 people. Hey, I paid for your newsletter. One paid for months ago and has been paying for months by month. And couldn't get to, was showing me, hey, it's got the paywall up. And I'm like, what's the paywall about? So I said, let's go through this. And then they mentioned, I'll go through it. Well, you know what? I'm just going to hit record. I'll tell you the story. But if you're a paid member, make sure you're signing in with the email address into Substack that you used to pay for the service. Just get through on that one. You can't pay for the service with one email and then use another email or hide your email. It uses your email to actually authenticate you. So, there are plenty of paid members so that I know that there's not a technical problem. So it's definitely a user problem. But again, I'm happy to do the tech support with everyone, but it's like doing tech support at my parents' 55 and older community. Honest to God, it's kind of interesting, but okay. Nobody's interested because people are tuning out. Let me hit record. Good morning. It is Thursday, February 13th. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I didn't know that. Hey, boo. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I did not know that. I actually forgot. So, but hey, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I didn't even know it. I forgot. We're going to have steak. Yeah. I'm telling you, we're going to have steak. We usually meat free in this house, but steak is kind of a treat. So we'll do a steak. We are going to talk about strategies. We are going to talk about inflation because the market doesn't care about inflation. We're going to talk about stocks and the ARC trades. We're going to go into earnings. Let me just make that a headline so that I know exactly how to call that one out. And then for the paid members, we're going to do yesterday's earnings and today's new earnings that are coming up. It's just one stock that I learned a lesson on that I'm going to teach you that is way up in the pre-market. Tonight's earnings, and then for the paid members, I'm going to go over my 5-pillar strategy for managing my portfolio. It's it's no secret, but hey, this was the first time I actually laid it out in writing. I got an alert on a stock that's in the Beat the S&P portfolio that if you're a paid member, you get access to. And a couple of trades. I put a couple of trades in there yesterday as well. If you are not a paid member of the newsletter, it is free. So go over to Linktree, okay, right here, Daily Stock Pick Newsletter. Most of this is free. Okay, if you want to become a paid member within the newsletter, you can just pay. You get a paywall in the chat window. You go up here to the upper right, or in the app, because remember, Substack has an app. You can get to all that stuff. So I did have a couple of email exchanges, 3 to be exact, ironically yesterday, with paying subscribers who have been paying and just have been getting the paywall. Well, let me kind of just let everybody know. If you pay with one email address, you have to use that email address to sign in. You can't hide your email on Substack. I know I do this a lot where I'll sign up with Apple. Well, if you sign up with Apple, they do give you a fake email. Just make sure you pay with that email address. Don't sign up for Substack with an Apple, like hidden email address, and then go and pay with your Gmail address. You have to do that. That's how it authenticates through your email. I am not tech support. And I did plenty of tech support yesterday with a few people. It's fine. Again, paid members, you guys get priority. I don't mind helping everybody. And even if you're a free member, I don't mind helping you. Reach out. That's what I'm here for. I don't do this for, and I told one of the paid members that actually had been paying for months. I gave them free months. I felt bad. And they were like, nah, don't worry about it. I don't do this for the money. I do this to help you. So whether you're paid or not, paid members get absolute priority. But I'm not adverse to helping anybody. If you need help, that's what the world is about. Don't be afraid to reach out. I respond to absolutely everybody. Everybody. Now, let's talk about yesterday. Well, first off, I want to talk about making sure that you have a strategy. There was a situation that came up yesterday or this morning where one of my strategies didn't play out. Okay? And this was from months ago. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, this stock is up. Make sure you have a strategy. Shai Bular goes over his entire strategy. Okay? This is his philosophy. This is his strategy. He goes over it and posts it. It's a long paragraph form strategy. Write yours out. This is like journaling. If you write it out, you're less likely to make mistakes with it. Okay, you're less likely to go, oh my God, there's the shiny new stock in the corner that I'm going to go buy. App 11. Oh my God, I'm going to go buy it. Absolutely make sure that you have your strategy written down. I didn't until, Shai put this one out. Yesterday at 7:16. I wrote it out yesterday. I wrote out my 5-pillar strategy, and it will continue to evolve. But I know my strategy, and I know myself well enough, and I've been successful that I know I can do this without having it written down. If you're new, or if you failed, or if you feel like you could do better, write out a strategy. Make sure your portfolio, I will tell you, just guiding you in this one, make sure your portfolio doesn't rely on a daily, weekly, or monthly strategy unless you're on the last 3 holes of the 18. And that's a golf reference for anybody that doesn't know. You should have many strategies for stocks, like an Apple strategy, an Amazon strategy, a Microsoft strategy, things of that sort. You should have strategies for the stocks that you own, but your overall portfolio, you need a strategy. Okay? And that's why for paid members, I'm going to put out my 5 pillars that I developed yesterday. This is, if you watch the show Silicon Valley, there's the 3-pillar triangles. I forget what the guy does. I mean, it's just a douchey. It is such a great show, Silicon Valley on HBO Max. If you haven't had the chance to watch it, I would suggest you go back and watch it. But for the paid members, I'll put out those 5 pillars, okay? Now, let's talk about inflation. Let's talk about how the Qs reacted yesterday. We got a bad reading on inflation yesterday. And the morning candle, it was up 0.31%. You know, your low, 525. Was that yesterday? Yeah. No, that's a couple days ago. Let's look at the morning. The morning candle, it was down, let's see, today's February 13th, so February 12th at 9:30. Morning candle opened at 522. High 528, low 521. It closed at the high at 528. That's the morning candle. That's a 1% thing. If you go to a 5-minute look, and we open up a pre-market yesterday, you can see that drop and you can see that recovery. Okay? Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. It's one of the rules of the podcast. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. Doesn't mean that we couldn't have been down for months based on inflation being in the market, but we're not. Okay? We can go over and we can take a look at the VIX because I said yesterday, again, the VIX is going to be the key. It's down 1%. If we look at the one-day chart of this, we can see at 8:30 this afternoon, 8:30 this morning, it just crashed. It just crashed. Okay, we can go over to market data and we can look at bonds and the 10-year. Look at the U.S. Treasury 10-year. What happened yesterday over the time? It crashed, and then today at 8:30, it crashed. Well, why? CPI report. Not as hot as it looks. It's just not as hot as it was yesterday. Okay, it was an overreaction. It was that the headline number looked bad. But then when you dug into things, it looked okay. And then what did we get today? We got PPI. Comes in hotter than expected. With December prints revised up. So inflation is continuing in this market. But what'd you get after this? you got the jobs number, which came in softer. So the market is good. The market is good. Earnings are coming in at record pace. Apple had a record quarter. Okay? Is a lot of good in this market. So when you pull out and you look at, let's look at the 4-hour algorithm. It got you in at 525 on the Qs. Where are you trading into Qs? Pre-market, 530. Okay? Use the 4-hour algorithm to take emotion out, and I just add to these things. Again, that's one of the pillars of my strategy, is use a tool like charting to find an entry that you like, that doesn't have emotion, add to it. And then when you have reasons to pull back, you pull back. Okay? But make sure your strategy doesn't, if you're, say you're in your 20s and your goal is to retire in your 50s, you're still in the first 9 of your 18 holes. So you want to make sure that your strategy is not focused on daily. It's not focused on weekly. It's not focused on monthly. It's focused on yearly. Okay? The main portion of your portfolio should be focused on yearly, not swings. Okay? That's the key. So producer price index stronger than before. Now, we're going to talk about some of the stocks yesterday because Palantir continued its move higher. It made its way all the way up to the 52-week high of 116. It's trading at 116. Okay? Yesterday, the high 117. I thought it got to 118. 117. Again, this is one that is a huge, huge winner. If it pulled back to that 84, I'm adding it left and right. Look at last week's candle. The weekly candle, okay? The low was 78. The valuation on this one, crazy. Doesn't fit my risk tolerance, okay? Algorithm got you in here at $70. If this one fits your strategy, then start adding it during times when maybe the 4-hour algorithm gets you in. Because look at how good the 4-hour algorithm has been. Again, strategies matter. So Palantir's one. Uber, which is in the core portfolio, was up over 80 yesterday. Okay? It got over 80. We're talking about the 82. Well, it may be a resistance. So do you want to buy it at 80? Where'd the 82 come from? Well, it's the previous all-time high right there. And it popped over here in October, and it hasn't been up there since, but it's going. It's a good stock. This one is in my portfolio. Not something that I particularly look at all the time because I believe in the philosophy. It's a small position that I have. Robinhood, killer. It is up, let's see, 12% in pre-market. It's at 62. Let's look at a long-term chart of this one. This one, above its 50-day, has been breaking out. Where's its high? Back here at 40. It passed it. We're now at all-time highs for Robinhood. Okay? Tesla. It bounced yesterday. It bounced. You can see an alert right there. Touch at the 4-hour. I got an alert yesterday. I wanted to know when it was going to touch the 200-day. That's it. That's it. I wanted to know. I didn't want to stare at charts all day. I wanted to know. Again, strategy. BABA took off. We talked about David Tepper a few months ago, how he said, I'm all in on China. I don't care about, the valuation. I don't care if they're going to have a recession. China, strategy. Again, David Tepper, strategy. He laid it out for you. He said, I'm just going all in on China. The valuations are just too low. Again, strategy. You could have played it with the 4-hour algorithm here. Could have bought it 85. Could have bought it 86. Again, if you had a long-term strategy, you bought those. Now, we just went over charts. What you may say, well, where you get this? Well, right now you're having a sale on Trendspider. Okay, President's Day sale. You go over to Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. It's the top link right there. Okay, Trendspider. You can try it for under $20 for the first 14 days. You don't get my 4-hour algorithm. You don't get any of that stuff. You have to sign up for a yearly plan for me to send you that. But go and try it out. Okay? Go and import the Weinstein stuff. Okay? We're just going to Google Trendspider store. Okay? We're going to Google the Trendspider store. There it is. Browse the add-ons. Go and import some of these. Okay? Some of the trending indicators. Some of these custom strategies. Okay? Find them. Import them. Trending scanners. You can import all of this. Go over to Twitter. If you go to Trendspider's Twitter during the 14 days, they will give you strategies and they will give you indicators to try it on stocks. Okay? The other thing that you get is you get one training per year. Take it during the 14 days and then sign up for a yearly plan. I am so certain that if you're using this tool right, you will continue to a yearly plan. That's it. Now, if you go to a yearly plan, I would urge you, the advanced one. If you're brand new to technicals, it doesn't take more than a weekend, more than a week to actually learn the basics of technicals. But it's the process of actually learning where the charts move because of the technicals. That's what takes time. Okay? Why do I say the advanced? Because you get 52 trainings per year, once a week. And think of it, you get 50% off. Okay? 50% off this plan. 52 training once per week. Don't think of it as paying for the software. Think of it as paying for training, because divide the cost by 52. That's how much you're paying for each one. Okay, go and get it. Again, we just went over all of those and the strategies. Now, one strategy that I like to do, Kathy Woods from ARC always posts her stuff, and I will post it. I will post it in the newsletter. I just read last night that this little portion blip. So she basically bought a bunch of AMD. ARK Invest expanded its stake in AMD by purchasing 5,162 shares via the ARK W ETF. The shares closed at 111, making the acquisition worth approximately $576,000. AMD remains at the forefront of the AI-driven semiconductor boom, with the new leveraged ETFs launched to capitalize on market movements. Now, I am not a fan of AMD. I got rid of AMD. I think it's a falling knife. Kathy Woods likes this one. Why does she like it? Well, look, right now she doesn't time the bottom. She never times the bottom. She dollar cost average her way in to stocks where she has a thesis. You can go and read the thesis. It's on GitHub. She will tell you about every stock that she owns. Okay? And AMD is one that she's buying. Look at this weekly chart. We can go and look at it. Pull up Seeking Alpha. Go and look at AMD. What did they think? They think it's a hold. We can go and look at the quant. It's been a hold for a while. Okay? Doesn't mean that you get rid of it. It means that you hold it. You can see a couple of buys in there at 155. We go down. Now, 170, 140, 170. It was a strong buy. You can see it was this is going back to November. At 105, during October of last year, strong buy. You rode this one all the way up to 180. Oh, I'm sorry, $200. Okay, while it was a strong buy. It's still a hold. The valuation, not horrible. Again, the PE is within relatively good range. The growth is still good. Profitability, still great. The momentum sucks. If you've held on to this one, it's horrible. The revisions are horrible. They're all bringing their earnings per share and revisions down. But does it take a genius to figure out, hey, maybe there's something coming in here? Lisa Su, she's the CEO of the year. And then you take a look at this, okay? This tweet comes out. The chief commercial officer of AMD has just reported purchasing $500,000 of the company's stock, increasing his ownership stake by 16%. This is the first insider purchase we have seen at the company in over 4 years. I like Kathy Woods, and I also think that while insider buys are not a sole reason to buy, They are also an interesting reason to buy. Now you can see Lisa Su sold a bunch of shares at 142. Great move, Lisa Su. That's $10 million. She just sold it. Okay, Lisa Su sold in November $11 million at 143. Great, because it's trading at 110 right now. Lisa Su was selling. Everybody was selling. Then you get this green, and it's $500,000. It's not huge, but it's good enough to trigger something. And so what I would tell you to do is put this on a watch list. Let's see if there's a strategy that works. Because right now, the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 4%. Buying and holding over 2 years makes you 27%. That doesn't work. I wouldn't buy it on that one. And it's because it's a falling knife. It just doesn't work. The 65-minute doesn't work. We can look at some of the other strategies, find a strategy that works. And you can look at a lot of strategies, import them. This particular one goes back 10 years. Makes you 97%. I've got a Boyle strategy that works. Let's see if this one works. Again, find the technical strategy that works for you. This one over 4 years makes you 27% versus buy and hold makes you 22%. And you can see, doesn't have you in. Set an alert for it. Set an alert for it. But you've got to find a strategy that works. Now, Kathy Woods, buy and hold, but I guarantee you they are using some type of technical trading too. Now, the other one that Kathy Woods bought that I think is a great buy under $200 is TSMC. ARK Invest increased their holdings in TSMC by acquiring 4,579 shares. The shares closed at $206, resulting in a purchase value of $945,000. This comes as TSM faces geopolitical pressures and considers shifting some operations to the U.S. amid Donald Trump's tariff threats. This is a good one. This is in the core portfolio. AMD is not. This is a different kind of stock. This is one that you could absolutely add, and I do think that's a little bit stretched. She's adding to it. She's got a strategy. Okay? Other key ARK trades. 397,000 shares of Roku, 40,000 shares of Deere, which reported and is down today. She likes Deere, probably for its autonomous stuff. Algorithm got you out with a 9% gain right there. The 4-hour algorithm on Deere makes you 28% over the last 24 months. You only make 16% if you bought and held. Is this a buy and hold stock? Well, look at the weekly. Look at how it's in this range. I updated this range back in June. Has it gotten out of this range? Not really. I mean, we can look at it a little bit. Let's see. We're going to just pull this one over here. Has it gotten out of that range? It's at the top of the range. In pre-market, you are down, 4% at 454. So you're close to touching the 21-day. At 454, but it hasn't gotten out of that range, just bumped up a little bit, but it's coming back in the range. Look for it around $400. That's a strategy. Buy it when the 4-hour algorithm tells you to get back in. That's a strategy. Okay. She also bought Cameco Corp, CCJ. This is one that's in nuclear. It's a great. They have earnings coming up on February 19th. Is this one that looks interesting to you? The algorithm only makes you 15%. Buying and holding makes you 80%. Use the 4-hour algorithm to find an entry. It got you in here at 49. You're trading at 49 right now. Okay? CCJ. This is one of the leaders in nuclear. Look at that weekly chart. Doesn't look bad. Could it come back down here to 38? Absolutely it could. But have a strategy. And I thought this AMD one and that stuff pointed out well. Now, some of the sectors, I wanted to look at sectors because it's interesting. If you look at sectors here and we just look at yesterday, communication services, it's led by Meta. If you look at year to date, communication services is the number one, led by Meta. What's at the bottom? It's XLK. It's up 1%. Consumer discretionary, which is being brought down by Tesla, is the worst performing sector. Now, ironically, in my Let's Beat the S&P portfolio, I picked both XLK and I think XLY. I may have picked XLF. XLF is the second leader. Okay, year to date, it's up 6.27%. Understand your sectors. That's a strategy. Also, understand why NVIDIA is such a good buy. This is a 1-minute video. Even when the competitors' chips are offered for free, it's still not cheap enough. Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. Good luck with hyping up chip startups and custom ASICs. That is why I have NVIDIA. Again, understanding the ecosystem, understanding why Apple is such a valuable consumer product, and understanding why NVIDIA is such a crucial data center product, that's why. And NVIDIA has earnings coming up, 131. You've seen that 140 be complete resistance right there, okay? But what's happened? The MACD is reset. Okay, if we go and look at NVIDIA here in the quant, and you may say, well, you know, the quant, what is it? It's 5-factor grades. And I have found this to be the easiest way for me to understand the fundamentals of each stock. Now, the price target, 172. That's a 31% upside from there. Is it going to get there? I don't know. I'm willing to wait it out. You know, 4-hour algorithm makes you 294%. Buying and holding makes you 514%. I'm perfectly fine buying on the 4-hour algorithm on this one and just saying, okay, I got an entry here at 127. Okay, I got an entry here at 141. Okay, I got an entry in here at 136. When it breaks down on a weekly or a monthly level, then I'll be worried. But right now, it's just trading completely sideways with that 140 being its resistance level. The MACD isn't even close. Right now, it's what? 4 points above the oscillator. Last time it was 4 points above the oscillator, this was trading at 50. We're at $130. Okay? It is oversold at 51. If the growth doesn't sustain, this one will get killed. It absolutely will get killed. In fact, the two largest companies in the world, which I own a lot of stock of, NVIDIA and Apple, they just tested their 200 moving day averages for the first time in many months. Let's take a look. Many months. See? There's the daily on NVIDIA. You haven't seen this one come down to the 200 day since it was January 2023. January 2023. Is it an opportunity? You better damn well hope they have the growth in order to make it. We can go and look at the daily on Apple. This one is coming close to its 200 day. Last time you had the 200 day in here, May of 2024. And remember, that was when they announced Apple Intelligence and shit just took off. Well, they just announced that Apple Intelligence is in China. Have a strategy. Get your stocks in order. Let's go over earnings. This is an alpha pick. Okay, I'm going to go over this real quick because there is a special on alpha picks, and AppLovin is an alpha pick. It's up 30%. This is a crazy, crazy stock, and it is part of this portfolio. Okay, I want you to get this portfolio. There's a Valentine's Day special. It's on for another day where you get 60 days of Seeking Alpha Premium. You've seen me. I will use charts, and I will use Seeking Alpha Premium throughout the rest of this podcast. But get this offer, okay? The Alpha Picks portfolio, you can see it's up 177% versus the S&P at 58%. This isn't a short-term strategy. Even if you bought, there was, I think Kathy was complaining that in November, she's down about 5% since November. It's not short-term. For me, I continue to add to my winners within this portfolio, and I continue to rebalance the portfolio at least once every quarter. I don't cut my losers. I only sell them when they tell me to. An example is Twilio, which has earnings after the bell. We'll go over this one in a little bit. But Twilio is one that they purchased last year, okay? They purchased it last year. We'll look at a weekly portion of this. They purchased it last year. It did nothing. You lost money when you purchased it. Okay. I think they purchased it somewhere in January or February last year at around $60. It did nothing until October. Okay, this is why you don't get rid of the stocks that are just not performing. This is why you have a long-term outlook. And AlphaPix is a long-term portfolio. Okay, and you can get it $50 off, and you get 60 days of researching every stock in your portfolio. But AppLovin just absolutely killed it. Exactly 1 year ago, AppLovin was trading at $47. Today, after earnings, it's nearing $500 a share. Just a year ago, this was trading. I mean, we can go and look at this one. This is nuts. It is up at 489. It's up 30%. Look at that weekly chart. Okay? Again, is it stretched? Absolutely. Would I have said buy this one at $380 yesterday going into earnings? Hell no. Look at that MACD. Look at the RSI. I'd probably be trimming this if I didn't have AlphaPix telling me it was such a strong position. Okay, AppLovin, it's a hold in the quant. It's not even a buy, it's a hold. But with the Q4 revenue that jumped 44% year over year, it's clear this one is still growing. It is still a good stock. Clearly, it is still a great stock. So you can go over all that stuff. Again, this is in the AlphaPix portfolio. It's one that they've had for a couple of years, not just 1 year, a couple of years. It was a top 2024 stock as well. Okay. Now, on the opposite end, the trading desk is not one. I talked about the trading desk yesterday being a great opportunity. It's a hold as well in the quant. Okay. They are down 30% at 85. This might be an interesting opportunity. Was it a sandbag of guidance? That's why it's down. It's the guidance. But what I want to show you is this previous all-time high at 97 right here. Okay? That is a previous all-time high. It's broken it. Okay? It's below it. Give it a couple of days. If we start to see this one swing back, I think that could be used as a support level, just an overreaction from the earnings. Any reaction in this is an overreaction. I like this stock. It's just outlined 17% revenue growth for Q1 with recalibration. Again, the street overreacts. What does Wall Street think that it's worth? $126. They will absolutely either revise this down. That's why I say wait 3 days. I don't care if it jumps from 87 to 100. Wait 3 days. But I do believe this is an overreaction. Now, Robinhood is an interesting one. They killed it. I'm not going to go over Robinhood. I hate Robinhood as a company. I'm not going to go over it. But they were boosted by election trading. And they highlighted event day trading. And Vlad's going to go over a bunch of stuff. He's going to hype it up. I'm not a big fan. It's up 12% in the pre-market. But what I wanted to point out is how far they've come versus Interactive Brokers and Schwab. Okay? That's huge. That's huge. I mean, that over 1 year, Robinhood is up 365%. Interactive Brokers is up 134%. You would be totally happy with Interactive Broker. Schwab is up 27%. So I liked Schwab. I liked buying that one down. So another one that I've been watching, it's on our watch list, Cisco. They killed it. We've talked about Cisco being a $60 stock, a $50 stock. We've talked about this one. Okay, Cisco is a hold in the quant. Why? Because their growth hasn't been good. They just killed it. They just killed it. And if we look at this one, this is a stock that goes back to the 2000s. This was a dot bomb. And you can see that 58 was providing resistance. Where was it? If we just pull this one back, I think that's on a weekly. Look at that weekly. Okay, we see July 2019 resistance. We see it here. It couldn't hold it. Came right back. Then we see another resistance in August 2023. It was clearly resistance because when you look at the 4-hour on this one, look at how it's been trading around that and it was providing support. If you can buy this under $60, that's where you get it. Right now, it's trading at 66, 65, 65.95. Okay? Earnings are driving this market. Inflation, nobody cares about. Earnings are driving the market. Dutch Brothers outlines 2025 revenue with growth of 21 to 23%. This is up 28% in pre-market. They killed it. They absolutely killed it. Okay? And I want to point out just a chart. This is Dutch Brothers versus StarBucks versus the S&P. Okay? Over 3 years. Dutch Brothers is only up 26%. Timing matters. If you had bought Dutch Brothers down at this low in 2023, you're way up. Okay? Because if we go back to 1 year, it's up 132% versus StarBucks at 18% underperforming VOO. But Bros is up. Year to date, Bros is up 23%. Add to that when it opens up, it's up 30% in pre-market. Now, if we go and look at Bros and look at the chart, again, you're seeing me use all of these tools on the screen. If we go and look at Dutch Brothers, the 4-hour algorithm actually loses you 14% over the last 24 months. It doesn't do well. It's not a good strategy. Would I have said buy this one into these earnings? Absolutely not. You know, you look at this weekly candle and you see the MACD stretched. You see it coming up on its all-time highs. Where is its all-time high? 81. Where is it trading right now? 84. We're in new all-time high territory. Okay? This isn't a brand new stock. It's been out there. They guided you higher. Okay? Look at the peers. When I just looked at the peers, again, this is the rabbit hole that Seeking Alpha will take you down. This is Seeking Alpha Premium. And I went and looked at Luckin Coffee. Look at that. While Dutch Brothers is up 26% over 3 years, you can see it. Luckin Coffee's up 155%. And if we go and do a little bit of research on Luckin Coffee, we can see the quant has it as a buy. It's been a buy for a while, ever since it was trading at 23. It's trading at $30 right now. Wall Street, there's 3 analysts that cover it. They say it's worth $34. It's at $30. Okay? Again, it's not number one in its restaurants. What's number one in restaurants? It's an alpha pick, eat. But if we go and look at Luckin Coffee, LKNCY, here we go. Let's look at the chart. 4-hour algorithm doesn't do you well. Down 44% versus buy and hold over 24 months. You make 2%. Why? Well, it's because your max drawdown was 65%. So it doesn't work. You look at a weekly on this one, doesn't, you know, this is just the luck of buying on the low. And you can see, if I were to look at this one, anything around the 200-day on the weekly, I want to buy it. I want to buy it at $20. You know, the 50-day, I want to buy it at $22. You can see the all-time high up here at $38. Again, this is the rabbit hole that is Seeking Alpha. You can find opportunities like this. Now, Seeking Alpha analysts say sell it. Sell it. You know, the valuation's a bit stretched. The profitability, not great. They're not making money. But again, that's the rabbit hole that it leads you down. Now, let's talk about Reddit. Any reaction is an overreaction in the market. Revenue targets 360 million. They are down because of growth in costs. This is a new stock. Okay, this is a brand new stock. It is not covered in the quant, so you're going to have to do your own research. What strategy could you use? You could use the 4-hour algorithm. Okay, if we just go over here to Trendspider and we look at Reddit, it's only got 10 months in it. I'm not trading this one. Full disclosure, I'm not in this one. But it got you in at 178. Okay, where are you trading right now? 204. If we pull up this pre-market and we do a 5-minute chart, we can see this one traded down where? 174. Where'd the algorithm get you in? Could have bought it. Again, any reaction is an overreaction. I would suggest, if you wanted to trade this one, use the 4-hour algorithm. It makes you 229% over 10 months. Okay? It protects you from the downside. Your max drawdown, 18%. That's not bad in a stock that's up 343% over 10 months. Again, find a strategy that works. Let me just give you a strategy, one mistake that I made, okay? We're going to pull up this chart, Shark Ninja, because I want to tell you this story. I love this one. So back in July of last year, I bought a Shark Ninja cordless vacuum for Prime Day, and the algorithm got me in at 71. I said, you know what? Earnings are coming up. I don't know much about this company. It's great. It's cheap. I liked it. Didn't want to buy it. Well, I saw it, get me out with a 1% gain, and I didn't put in an alert. And all of a sudden on earnings, it popped up to $90. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy it here at 90. I gave up on 27% gain right there. But I did get in at 109. And I said, you know what? I'm perfectly fine here at 109. I'm going to be happy. And then earnings came in and it dipped down. And I wound up selling. Okay, because I wanted to trade it on the 4-hour algorithm and it got me out with a 20% loss. I love this one. The lesson for me is it's a long-term story. Okay, I sold this one based on the 4-hour algorithm. I had alerts. I didn't feel comfortable buying in. Okay, I didn't feel comfortable. I got frustrated. I got out of it. I just pinned it off. It's on the watch list. I had the alerts. I just never did it. I said, I don't feel comfortable. So what do you do here? Well, it's trading at 119. It's going to have a gap. If you get this down to 112, which is a previous all-time high, which has, you can see, clearly provided some resistance here. If you can get it at 112 or between 112 and 115, because that's where it popped to here, and you can see it's just taking off right now. As the market opens, it's just taking off. I like them. They have new products, and it's a good stock. The earnings blew it away. Shark Ninja's a strong buy from Wall Street. Again, it's trading at 120. The average price target is 122. We can just refresh to make sure that we have it. Yeah, it's still showing that, but 122. So it's 11% upside from yesterday's trading. But again, if you can get this on the chart, I would say between 112 and 115, use 112 as your stop loss. Because if it does go down, I think you're getting back to this 200-day at about 104. Okay? But that's a strategy. All of these stocks, by the way, are on the watch list in Trendspider that you get when you sign up for the yearly subscription right there. I've got about 10 of them. And they're all on the watch list, so you can scan against them. You can do whatever you want. Now, let's talk about tonight's earnings. Because Twilio's reporting. Here's the earnings preview. This one, it's an alpha pick. We went over, how the stock chart looks. I would like this one to be, at least a little bit down. You've got this gap up here, which I don't know if the gap is going to fill or not. I would like you to purchase it at a lower price than it is right now. But you can see, look at that weekly chart. You can see we've got 300 in this. We just passed the 200-day. The 50 days turning positive. It's not even stretched. I mean, the MACD is only at 18 points above. If this one reports any hesitancy in guide or earnings, you're going to see it pull back. It's an overreaction. Buy it. I like the stock. Okay. Who else is reporting tonight? PanW, Palo Alto Networks. This is the largest cybersecurity. Algorithm got you in at 195. I'm in this one. I think my average purchase price is under $100. I like this one. I like it a lot. I've held this one for a long time. I have not traded it. If you want to trade it, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 56% versus 144% buying and holding. You can enter when the 4-hour algorithm tells you to get in. The algorithm told you to get in at 195.15. You're trading at 196. I like this one. It's a long-term buy and hold. Another one that reports today is Coinbase. And let's go and look at Earnings Hub because Coinbase is an interesting one for me particularly. Okay? Earnings per share, they reported 73 cents. They're estimated to make $1.81. We just saw Hood report, okay, based on election and trading activity. I think that's going to be the same thing for Coinbase. I think they're going to see increased activity and earnings. Am I banking on this one? I have a double leveraged ETF on this one. Now, the algorithm got you out with a 0.96%. The algorithm makes you 277% versus 245%. So I should be listening to that. But I have a mid 5-figure position in CONL. Now, the algorithm got you out. I didn't want to get out. I'm being greedy as F. Am I going to get burned on this one? Maybe. Because the algorithm makes you 439% over 24 months versus only 184%. But for some reason, I want to be in this one. And it's a mid 5-figure position on a daily leveraged ETF. That's it. I'm banking on this one. I'm banking on it. Last earnings, we saw this one in October. We saw the earnings just tank it. Tank it from, 216 to 183. It tanked it. Is it going to tank again today? Maybe. I mean, I don't think there's anything that in particular is super attractive about this. The valuation, crazy. I mean, the PE is just way too high. PEG ratio, growth is great. Growth is fantastic. Everything just seems to be okay. It's number 2 out of 20 in the financial and data exchange. I like it. Where is Coinbase? Let's see. Where's Coinbase Wall Street price target? Let's see. It is 298 and it's trading at 285. So maybe it gets it. It's an interesting one. Another interesting one, Applied Materials, AMAT. This is one that, we can look at the chart on this one. This one's been tanking. Applied Materials, semiconductors. Maybe this one reports a good one. Valuation D. I mean, I don't understand how you can have a valuation of growth. A profitability is A+, though. Momentum D. This one's not doing great. Could surprise you. Another one is Dexcom. And this one, my dad owns, and we should have sold a bunch of it. He's way up on it. I mean, he's had this one for years. But you're seeing a gap fill start. And the gap is up to 106. This is from 2 earnings ago, where it went from 106 down to 68. The algorithm gets you out right before earnings. We can look at this one. Again, Wall Street says it's a strong buy. They think it's worth $97. They haven't exactly taken it down. It's just been a straight across while the stock price climbs. This is insulin. This is diabetic kind of stuff. So I like this one. Is it one that fits your strategy? I don't know. One that's interesting that I was looking at pre-market is GoDaddy. And GoDaddy was a strong buy for a very long time in the quant. And you can see over 1 year, it's up 85%. Year to date, it's up 6%. It's doing fairly well. And we've just seen it plateau out around that $200 mark. Well, what does Wall Street think that it's worth? $206. Okay, and if we go look at the quant history of this, you can see it's been a buy. It was a strong buy back here at 151, where it started to take off to 200. That was just, let's say, August of last year where we brought it up. And the valuation was stretched back there as well. Okay? The valuation was stretched. It's still stretched. So I like those. You can find it all on Earnings Hub. And again, you saw me go through everything. Earnings Hub is right here. It's my favorite site to use. DraftKings reports today. I actually own that one in one of my portfolios. Roku reports today. We know that Kathy Woods is huge on that one. Twilio, Dexcom, WIM. There's a lot of earnings today. Moderna tomorrow morning. That should be a complete shit show. But you saw me use all these tools, okay? They are on sale. Trendspider is on sale for, I think it's just a few more days. I think it's through the weekend for President's Day. And you get to try it for just $20, okay? Then you can get the premium and Alpha Picks bundle. You can get it. I would suggest if you saw what I did and you want the Alpha Picks portfolio, just get the bundle. If you don't want the bundle, you can get $30 off Seeking Alpha. If you just want Alpha Picks, the bonus is you get 60 days of Seeking Alpha Premium for free. So pick the tools that you want, find your strategy, get going. Again, it's all about the strategy. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you. Paid members, there will be a bonus one. I'll do it separately. It's going to be managing my own personal portfolio philosophy and then a couple of specific stock things. Okay, talk to you. Bye. Wah, wah. Okay, let me see. Morning, Eli. Morning, Scott. Yeah, Sean, I do respond to everybody. Silicon Valley's so good. The first 2 seasons are good, but it's one of those shows that actually got better through the 6 seasons. I just think it's up there with Seinfeld. Seinfeld and The Office for me. Oh, Chris, you're getting back into Elf? I learned my lesson with Beauty. It's doing well. I mean, 4-hour algorithm got you in at 75. You got a gap fill up to 85. That would be actually a pretty good, not a bad one. Their management did not instill in me that they've got any idea about what's going on. And that, I just didn't like it. But again, yeah, the gaps and stuff like that, it's good. Thanks, Scott. Variance Explorer is awesome. I just don't use it, Sean. I mean, there is so much that I don't use in Trendspider, and you know this. You won that free year of the premium. I don't even think I have the level that you have. And yeah, Scott, it's the same exact thing. I mean, with parents, we all die. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Chris. Splitting the watch list into time frames and strategies. Yeah, Eli, I had a feeling your watch list would get out of control. Yeah, I can't control that. What's funny is I can't control the pop-ups on YouTube. In fact, it just stopped me. Stopped my playback. I don't vintage. I don't get I think I do get a referral. Email me. Go over to Linktree, and my email's up in the upper right-hand corner. I think my guy Stuart, he just had a baby as well. He's probably a perfect, absolute perfect advisor for you, to be honest, because he's probably within your age range. So I don't get anything, but I love I've talked to Fidelity, their social media group, and this was a few years ago when I didn't have the audience that I had. And I was like, you guys should really sponsor me. And they're like, yeah, maybe we'll sponsor you. And I think a sponsorship now would probably, I don't know, Fidelity's a big company. Full disclosure, I'd probably ask them 10, 15,000 for a sponsorship. That would be kind of what I would ask them for. But I don't get a referral. I think he sends me gift cards every now and then because I send him a lot of people. I'm pretty sure I've sent him well over $15 million worth of business to manage between the different people that I've sent over. It's well over 15. And with my family, it's probably well over 30. So, because my family also refers people over to Stuart. Stuart manages our full group, the whole family and friends. He does, and I've never received a bad word about him. Now, for smaller kind of accounts, I don't know that you're going to get Stuart. You might get one of the people under him, but he watches over anybody within his group. So you're getting the best advice. Did CRD? Of course it did. 3%. It'll get back to 84. I mean, they have earnings coming up. They'll do fine. I'm not worried about Greedo. You know, AVGO. The three stocks that I own for chips are NVIDIA, AVGO, and another one. I got to go because it's 9:43. I promised myself I would be off here at 9:30. So, okay, if you guys have any question on the spin bike, I got to get my spin bike going. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, see you, bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trade